Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's that time again. And speaking of time, that's going to be one of my key points today. That I'm going to, of course, provide my opinion and my perspective and my viewpoint on. But something a little different that we're going to do, and I really need you guys' participation in this one. Very simple question. Well, kind of. But before I actually go in, I want to pose this question, and I want you guys to give yourself a few seconds, maybe a minute or two, whatever you need. I want to know, in your opinion, your perspective, your viewpoint, what is the most important thing in life? We'll give you guys a few seconds, then we're gonna get right back to the video. All right, y'all. Hope that was enough time. Ready to give you my answer, my perspective, and my viewpoint as always. In my opinion, in my 26 years of life, I feel like the most important thing in life is something that we take for granted, something that we take advantage of, something that we seldomly milk, we seldomly just exercise it. It's that four-letter word. It's called time. If you follow me, if you know me personally, then I'm sure we've had this conversation before, because this is one of the things I try to impute on social media, in person, wherever I'm at. I try to stress the importance of this thing called time. And I'm going to give you my definition of time. And it's very simple. Time is the only resource we cannot recoup. It is incomparable. It definitely isn't intangible, and it's far greater than any dollar, any material, any place, person, or thing. And I tell people all the time, we can build bonds again. That man may come back, that woman may come back, that friend may come back. It's so many things that we can replenish. So many things that we can plan and get more of, or we can work, or we can, figure out ways to get more of. That thing called time, it's not pausable, it's not replenishable. Again, like I said, it's incomparable. There are no replays in life. Again, like I said, there are no pauses. It cannot be frozen. You can try, there's a number of barbiturates, a number of things we can do to try to freeze it, to try to slow it down. But time just continuously moves. And I talked about this on Instagram a few days ago, and I wasn't lying. It's really painful. I sit back and I watch many of us just take advantage of this thing. I watch us take advantage of no sales tax. I watch us take advantage of internet incentives, take advantage of a ton of things, and I said this a few videos, well, not a few, many videos back. I watched countless times associates of mine, even in your herbal use, will burn your fingertips, will burn your nails, and burn your lips to milk and take advantage of every ounce of marijuana. I watched us, like I said before, we never just, fill our tank up dry before a day and just park it and say, you know what, I'm going to let that car sit there until that gas eventually evaporates due to the elements of the world. We milk it. We do our best to, get the most out of these things. And, the ideology I'm trying to bring today is, when do we apply that same principle for ourselves? When do we put the sleep down? When do we put the television down? When do we, as I tell people all the time, it's something I went through in my life, when do we detach ourselves from things of the world and solely focus on the betterment of ourselves, being a better person today than we were yesterday, being selfless? And like I said, speaking on selfless and with the intangibles, I can give you $1. I can give you a ride. I can give you shoes. I can give you clothes. I can give you intimacy. I can give you a ton of things. But time is just something. Time is far more precious than all those things. Looks, materials, all those things fade with wear and tear. With time, time just happened to be one of those resources that we can't run to Walmart and buy more. A lot of times we can't run to the hospital and buy more. And like I said, just the basis of this video was just, again, to open up your mind to the intangibles of life, to help you be analytical and help you be a person of understanding and be a thinking woman or a thinking man, and step back, step outside of yourself, and just really question yourself and self-analyze. What are you doing with your time? Ignorance is bliss is a saying that I heard many times throughout life, but I hadn't really understood it from a personal aspect. But then I did. I understood before I found purpose, before I found fulfillment. I had what I thought was an awesome job. I was 21, 22, somewhere around there. It was about 4 years ago. I worked for 4 years. But anyway, I had my nice little polo shirt with my badge on. I took 911 calls. I was making $32,000 a year. But in retrospect, I look at what I did with my time. I allotted 12 hours to my life to a stranger that, probably cared absolutely nothing about me. The only reason they gave me benefits is because somewhere in the paperwork, a lot of jobs are mandated to give you certain benefits. Especially government jobs. It was a government job. I used to be a dispatcher. But anyway, and then in retrospect, I look at what I did after I gave him 12 hours of my time. I would come home and sleep. I would come home and watch television. I would come home and just be among the things of the world. I would come home and, either, enjoy intimacy with the woman I was dealing with at that time. Or, again, ignorance is bliss. Life is so simple when we're going with the flow. Life is so simple when we don't have a grip on things, when there's no accountability. Responsibility is one thing. Accountability is a whole nother monster. It's so simple when you're going with the flow. You're just going with the flow of things. You get up, we work, we do things on the weekends, we get old, we take cute pictures, we leave insurance, and we die. It's a lot more to do with your time than that. I'm just here to tell you that. And hence why I'm making this video for you midday. It's 2:50 in the afternoon. But I got to a certain point in my life where I took advantage of my time. I tried to make the most out of my time. I'm still trying every day. Hence is why I'm making this video, trying to get through to anybody that may be going through the same situation I was, or anybody that may be currently just taking advantage of that thing we call time. Simple things like reading, writing, walking. The 5 senses: touching, driving. I'm just here to tell you, this game called life has a clock. I would say the path is that of a roller coaster, and the journey is that of a clock. You're on this roller coaster of ups and downs. Happiness, sadness, good times, bad times. But a lot of times we just get caught up in the elements of the world. And again, I'm going to say it again, we have to detach ourselves from things of the world. Tomorrow, I believe, is when Empire comes back. Cut it off. Lock in and focus on you. Lock in and focus on fulfillment, on purpose. Again, so many of us are going to die a shell of ourselves. We're going to leave nothing here but cute pictures, a little debt, maybe some life insurance, and funeral expenses. There is more to this game than that. But back to what I was saying. The clock of life has no warnings. There's no snooze. There's no alarm clock. It simply pops up one day, and in the blink of an eye, you're gone. The action of dying, I've never known it to be, and don't get me wrong, when disease comes into play and things of that nature, it can be slowly, but more times than not, it grabs you. It just takes you, and that's it. You miss out on this, you miss out on that. And a topic that always comes up in this conversation, because I have it frequently with people, and I ask them, why are you afraid to die? Or if you died tomorrow, what would bother you? And I used to have the same sentiments. I hear people say all the time, man, I won't get to do this. I won't get to do that. I'm going to miss out on this, and I'm going to miss out on that. My question to the people that feel like that, did you miss out on sleep last night? When's the last time you missed out on a date? When's the last time you missed out on a moment of intimacy? When's the last time you missed out on a turn up? This game is all about time and taking advantage of it. Just my opinion and my perspective from people I've dealt with and me personally, most people who no longer have a fear of death, they have a sense of time. They have a grasp on time, and they understand that 30 is not promised. 35 is not promised. You may not be that 70-year-old driver that you cursed out yesterday that you feel like shouldn't be on the road anymore. That may not be the plan for you. I know many of us feel like, we're going to get old, man, I'm going to be this year. Excuse me. I'm going to be this age at my baby's graduation. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. Understand. Air is a privilege. Life is a privilege. Getting up and walking is a privilege. There may be one day where your motor skills just don't work, where you no longer can run, where you no longer can attempt to tap into the other 80% of your brain that most of us humans are not even using at this very time. And like I said, we have to have a sense of urgency. We have to understand that the game clock, the life clock, there's no warnings. There's no halftime. There are no timeouts. It simply rolls and rolls and rolls. And before you know it, it ceases. That drive to the store is not promised. Getting up and going to that job that you hate is It's just not promised. And like I said myself, I found myself in that same position years ago. But again, I found a sense of urgency. I found purpose. I found fulfillment. I got a grasp of time, and I recognize that I'm only 26 now, but those 4 years to 30, they're not promised. Again, hence is why I'm making this video for you right at this moment. And I'm not even gonna just say it's for you. And I had this conversation with many people. It's for a lot of people in my circle. If you know me personally, if you watch any of the videos previously or follow me on social media, you'll know I have 2 little ones myself. Time is very important. I understand I may not make it to their graduation. So with that being said, I must pump out a video every week. I must continue writing books. I must lay bricks and lay messages in every piece of social media I drop. I must continue to put substance in this world. I must continue to feed their souls and feed their intellect every time we have conversations. And again, like I said, if you follow me on social media, you already know what that's about, the things that I pump into my children. And again, I'm just giving you examples of my personal life, trying to tap into yours and help you understand how quickly things can change, how quickly that clock can tick, and how important it is to milk the time rather than the shoes, rather than the materials, rather than the drugs. And I'm not saying there's anything against those things. I'm just saying there's a time and place for everything. We have to focus on the intangibles. We have to focus on the intangibles of life. We have to detach ourselves from things of the world and focus on us being a better us. And again, just another example. And was it my 25th birthday, August 20th? And as many of you know, when we have birthdays, if we have a other half, it's already set in our minds we're gonna have a moment of intimacy. We've earned it. We've struck another year of life. You got to do what you do when it comes to that birthday. Come on, I don't got to go into that. We already know. But I just want to give you guys an example of how quick time can change. I took my 3-year-old daughter with me to pick up my other half on my 25th birthday of 2014. My birthday was the 20th. I went 10/14 that night to pick up my other half with my daughter in the back seat. Long story short, by 4 o'clock that morning, I was leaving interrogation at the sheriff's office. I unfortunately shot 2 people while picking her up. Did I have that on my agenda at all that day? Did I walk out the house, with that birthday love on me and that birthday feeling like, excuse me, feeling like I might need to shoot somebody tonight? No, not at all, especially not with my 3-year-old in the back seat. But these things happen in life. I just really need y'all to get a grip of the time and understand how quickly it can change. How quickly had one small detail of that scenario been changed, I may not be here giving you this video 13 months later. Another example, back in 2009, I remember hanging with my brother. We laughing, kicking. Ignorance is bliss, going with the flow, just going with the flow of things, watching basketball game, indulging in women, doing this, doing that, doing a bunch of unmeaningful things. I get a phone call the following day saying he's been arrested for a violation of probation. And 3 months later, we're downtown when they hit him with 15 years. I had no idea that last time we talked that would be the last time we discussed basketball. That would be the last time we were able to go get something to eat. That would be the last time I'm able to, reach over and pull up a lock for him so he can get in the car. The simple things I'm trying to tell you that we take for granted. I can give y'all a ton of examples about women who I may have mishandled, and it's different now, or friends that may have mishandled me, or relatives that, I didn't take the time to go call them, and then 2 weeks later I get the call that I'll never be able to call again. Like I said, y'all, I can give y'all a ton of instances. We have to have an urgency. We have to detach ourselves from things of the world. Understand, please hear me. You are not promised Christmas or the cruise you book next year. Your child is not promised the next grade level. Nothing here is promised. The only variable in life that is definite, the only variable that we know will not change. And again, you can be rich, poor, fat, skinny, cute, a model, success or failure, but you are going to leave here. Understand that. I'm going to reiterate this. There is more to this game than nice pictures, property, and life insurance. And a lot of us are not even leaving that. But again, y'all, I can go on and on. I just gave you my opinion on what's the most important thing in life. It may not be priority number 1 to you, but please make it a priority. You could be watching this video right now while you're riding. Look down at the wrong time, look up, and it's all over. Make the most of it. And as I tell you guys all the time, there is somebody out there seeking the same life, the same exact things you want to do. This game is a race. This game is a roller coaster. Ride the highs, ride the lows. Find your happy place out here and submerge yourself fully in it. I need us to start focusing on purpose, fulfillment, substance, passion, things of that nature. Television is going to be here. And you know, I'm going to let you guys go, but it's just a funny thing I always think about. When I was making 32 grand a year at 21, cable, NBA channel, Star, Showtime, all that. 4 years later, I've grossed around $610,000. My house has no cable. I have absolutely no time for idle time. I understand that this fossil, this vessel that I'm using, is not promised. The heart can stop at any moment. The brain can go dead and I'm never the same. I'm never to speak to my children again. And the same can happen to you. Get a grip of time and ride the hell out of it. Trust me, you can get that woman, those shoes, those clothes, those cars, all the check chasing, all that nonsense, all those things of the world that are going on, they can be replenished. This very moment that we're making eye contact through this screen is never going to happen again. My clock says 3:01. This is the last 3:01 of 2015 on September 22nd. Terrible with the dates. I don't get a lot of sleep. But anyway, y'all, take advantage of the time. I'm going to see you guys again. And don't forget to like, share, sub, and comment. And I'm going to see y'all next time.